All right, well, welcome to our information session for Sant'Anna in Sorrento, Italy. So I'm Rebecca McMunn. I'm the specialist that works with this program. So if you're working with our office, I'm usually the contact, and then I'm joined by Emily, my colleague, who is with Sant'Anna, and we'll kind of be able to talk a lot about the specifics of the program and what that looks like. What I'm going to do is just give a little bit of a brief overview of what it looks like on the Ohio State end of things, and then Emily can kind of do the more interesting spiel about what it looks like to be on the ground. Yes, this program is considered a direct enroll program. So what that means is that you're going to be kind of directly enrolling in the institution, taking classes there, and paying tuition directly to them rather than Ohio State. It is an approved program, so that means that you will also need to do an application for Ohio State in order to go as an Ohio State student. And both applications, the one for Ohio State and the one for Sant'Anna, are due by our deadlines. So for spring semester, our deadline is October 1st. For summer, it is February 1st, and for fall, it's March 1st. So that might look a little different than maybe what you're seeing on the Sant'Anna website about what their deadlines are, but you do need to kind of follow our deadline structure just so we can make sure you're getting in the system and doing what we need from you here on our end. The other thing to keep in mind is that you're going to need to do a credit evaluation process for any courses that you're taking while you're abroad. So all courses are going to come back to your Ohio State transcript as graded academic credit, meaning it's going to have a grade, factor into your GPA, and kind of look as though you took it at Ohio State. In order for that to be true, you'll need to go through a credit evaluation process, which is basically getting approval and figuring out what the equivalent course here at Ohio State is of each course you're taking abroad. So if you are going to be doing that process, I would definitely recommend meeting with me and we can discuss it in more detail. So I won't talk specifics about that now, but just keep in mind that that's an extra step that you'll need to do before you go abroad. And then the other big question I tend to get is about funding and payments. And so for the semester you're abroad, you are not paying Ohio State tuition. The only thing you're paying to us is an international insurance fee of $1.50 a day. And then you will be paying the full program fee to Sant'Anna. So what that means, though, as an Ohio State student, is that you'll maintain your enrollment, and then you would still have access to, typically, you would still have access to any of your funding, scholarships, grants, loans, that kind of thing. I will say I don't want to make broad sweeping judgments that that's true, so definitely pointing you towards the Buckeye Link office to kind of discuss with them your specific aid package, just because it can look a little different from student to student, and they can be they can kind of confirm exactly what you're able to use. So with that, I think those are the big three things that I would like to talk about on the Ohio State side. I will let Emily discuss the program, and I'm going to kind of sneak behind the scenes. I'll be here to answer any questions. Please feel free to put questions in the chat or the question and answer part of Zoom, and then we will either answer them as we go, or we'll also take some time at the end to answer any questions.
Thank you, Rebecca. Let me just share my screen here. Okay. Can you see the presentation? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Rebecca. So as Rebecca introduced, I'm Emily Hamrin from Sant'Anna Institute. I'm actually originally from Ohio, but I've been living in Italy for the past 10 years, and I've been with Sant'Anna in Sorrento, Italy for the past 6 years as the internship coordinator for our study abroad programs. And I also work with the service learning projects that our students do. So I help students really engage with the community, which I'll talk about later. But because I've been here in Sorrento for quite a few years, I'm also happy to answer any questions about Sorrento itself and any of the other program areas about Sant'Anna. So in this presentation, I'll go a little bit over the history of Sant'Anna and our facilities, our building, our campus, as well as our study abroad departments, and then a little bit about Sorrento life and some of the health and safety that we are preparing for next year. And of course, questions and answers, please feel free to interrupt at any time. I can't see the chat function, so if you just want to unmute you and ask a question anytime, that's fine as well. So about Sant'Anna, this is our study abroad team. So the study abroad staff, of course, we also have many faculty members and other staff members that work with our language school. But Olga Stinga is the director of study abroad, and we have Serena Vaca, who many students, well, all students who enroll with us are in contact with for the enrollments and class selection. Myself, Emily, the internship coordinator, Marco Marino, our academic director, and Georgia Del Santo, who is our student life coordinator and study abroad assistant. So we're all people that you would be in contact with quite often throughout the process of applying and enrolling, and also, of course, when you're on site in Sorrento. We also have a Meet the Staff video, which you can access later on our YouTube channel, Sant'Anna Institute. So a little history about Sant'Anna. So Sant'Anna was started in 1998 as an Italian language school, so teaching Italian to foreigners, many from the US as well. And then we also opened up a foreign language department, so we teach English and other foreign languages to the local Italians. And then, of course, we have our study abroad department. So that actually makes up the most of Sant'Anna, about 80% of 80% of Sant'Anna is the study abroad department. But you also see sometimes in the school we have, you know, local Italians and also some other adults from around the world, really, who are in the school studying languages as well. And we also, through the study abroad program, run about 30 programs per year, including our faculty-led programs and the individual direct enroll programs that you might be interested. So Sorrento, Italy is located on the Mediterranean Sea, of course, on the Sorrentine Peninsula, which you can see a little map here up in the corner. We're in the region of Campania, which is kind of like the equivalent to a state in Italy. Our town, Sorrento, is right on the Bay of Naples, which is the biggest bay in the Mediterranean Sea. And on the other side of the peninsula is the Bay of Salerno, where you also find the Amalfi Coast. We have in our region many points of interest, many places that people from all around the world come to visit, including the towns of Naples and Salerno, which are the largest towns in our region. The Amalfi Coast, with Positano, Amalfi being the biggest, most popular sites on the coast. The islands of Capri. Capri is very well known, but also Ischia and Procida are very close to Sorrento, and they're known for their thermal spas. We have Pompeii, the ancient Roman city of Pompeii, and also Herculaneum, which were famously destroyed by Mount Vesuvius eruption in 79 AD. We have on the Sorrento Peninsula itself, Castellammare di Stabia, Piano di Sorrento, Sant'Agnello, and Mastrolubense are some of the most well-known towns, but we have villages all over from Sorrento to the Amalfi Coast. So you can see in the red circle, we have our institute located above Marina Grande, which is the historical fishermen's village of Sorrento. So you can see it. Sorrento is very characteristic for its cliffs. So the whole peninsula is, you know, on the cliffs above the water. So each little town along the peninsula has its own marina and access down to the beach. This is a point of view of the Sorrento Peninsula from Sant'Agnello, which is the town right next to Sorrento. You can see like the little sunbeds and everything down there. So they have also their own marina. Very easy to get to. You can walk to Sant'Agnello in 10 minutes from the center of Sorrento. On the left, you have a picture. It's actually a view from the study abroad office at Sant'Anna. And on the right, you can see another picture with Sant'Anna in the, on the right-hand side. Some pictures from the outside of our building, some pictures of the town, picture of our entryway to our campus and one of the corners of our garden. Some more pictures of the garden on campus. And then, so within Italy, you can really reach many of the towns in Italy very easily from Sorrento. So you can take buses or trains from Sorrento. Also, we have a port where you can take hovercraft ferries and boat tours to Naples or to other places on in the Campania region along the coast. From Naples, you can take high-speed trains to many of the major cities in Italy. There's a major port in Naples. If you're going somewhere like Sicily or Sardinia, one of the islands, or even along the major Italian coast. And there's also an international airport, Capodichino in Naples, where you can fly to, the major cities of Italy and also many major cities in Europe. So the Naples airport has 35 airlines and 106 destinations, including these major cities listed here. And then Rome, Fiumicino International Airport, which also you can take a bus or a train to from Sorrento, has 240 destinations. So it's students have access to, not just Sorrento in Italy, but also Europe when they're in our programs. There are also many low-cost airlines that fly out of Naples and also Rome. So there are even, if you book in advance, tickets for 30 euros one way to different European cities. So it can be very cost effective to travel. So our institute's facilities and services. So our campus, we have 3 floors of classrooms and offices and 2 floors of our in-building residence hall. So in the residence hall, we have a big dining room area with kitchen stations. In the classroom area, we have a student lounge as well as a recreation room for students. It's kind of like a gymnasium style, so students can go and use the gym when the school is open. Also, we have a nice big garden in the citrus grove, which is nice between classes or really any time of the year to sit outside and study or just lunch or enjoy. Our classroom and study areas all have smart boards and projectors, of course, Wi-Fi, and also air conditioning. So another view of Sant'Anna with the red arrow from the sea. You can see the marina underneath. So our school is open Monday through Friday, and the classrooms for the students are also open Monday through Thursday in the evening, so 9 p.m. to midnight for extra study time. The rec room or the gym is also open during the school hours. We have an alarm system because the residence hall is with the school, there's an alarm system for after hours, just for protection, and there's access to the residence hall from the 3rd floor of the building, so from the classroom area. So a couple photos from our classrooms, the smart boards. Given the location of our school, half of the rooms, both in the residence hall and also the classrooms, face the sea, which is really beautiful, and also the marina. And then the other half face our garden. We're in the middle of the historical center of Sorrento, so it's also a beautiful view on the other side of the building into the garden. And as I mentioned before, some of the equipment that the classrooms have. So another view of a classroom, our library study room, and then accommodations. So our students have the choice of 3 different types of accommodations from the on-campus residence hall that I mentioned, also shared apartments around Sorrento and surrounding villages, and also the chance to stay with an Italian host family. As I mentioned, the residence hall is on campus, and it's the top 2 floors of our main building. And the shared apartments and the host families are located throughout Sorrento and within walking distance from the school. The residence hall is brand new. It was built in 2017. It has 23 bedrooms that have usually double or triple rooms. So the total occupancy is 50 to 60 students within the residence hall. Each room actually has an ensuite bathroom and a mini fridge. It's a very nice setup. And then they also have the communal kitchen with the kitchen stations and also larger refrigerators. There are also laundry facilities in the residence hall. And yes, and we also have a terrace, which I'll show you in a second. So some photos of one of the rooms that looks out to the garden, which you can see is really beautiful. And the kitchen on the top photo here with some of the kitchen stations. And then we have some students with their host family. And so when you're in the residence hall, you have access to the self-catering kitchens, and then off campus in the apartments, they each have a fully equipped kitchen and dining area. And then with the host family, there's the option to take either like to take breakfast and one meal with the family a day, or breakfast and 2 meals with the family a day. So it's a good way to, I think, experience one of the best parts, if you ask me, of Italian culture, which is the food and the home cooked meals. Some students in the kitchen. And here's the view from the outdoor terrace. So really beautiful day and night. So a photo of one of our shared apartments. So the shared apartments are fully air conditioned. They all have air conditioning, access to washing machines, and linens, bed linens and towels are also provided. In the residence hall, also in the shared apartments, there's a weekly cleaning service, which is a big plus, I think. So another couple photos of some shared apartments in Sorrento. And then host families. So students who really want to practice their Italian, or even if you don't know Italian and you want to learn in a very immersive way, they choose the host family. It's also a great way to eat the Italian way, as I mentioned, or learn the Italian traditions or just Italian lifestyle, because you're immersed, with a local family. And a lot of the students who choose this option really create close connections with their family, and they come back to visit, or they keep in touch even after their term, because it's a very it's a very close experience with them. So the services we have in the main part of the school, the administration building, accounting and human resources. Services that we offer are a doctor that comes on campus once a week, which is actually free to the students. It's included in the tuition. So if students have anything they want to get checked, we have the doctor there every week. Also, emergency services, if anyone needs counseling or requests special services like a dentist, we can help, we assist with those types of appointments as well. We also have student clubs and activities, and also we help students with travel tips when they're doing their weekend trips around Italy or Europe, or even around the Sorrento Peninsula. So some information about the academics in the study abroad department. We offer programs all year round. So I believe with OSU, students are able to do either the semesters or the summer programs. We also just started a continuing education division, and we also run faculty-led programs with various schools around the US. For community engagement, there are 3 opportunities for students: internships on site for credit, academic credit, virtual internships that students may take for direct credit, but I'm not sure if OSU students are allowed, you have to check with Rebecca about that, for virtual internships, and then service learning projects, which are done with local community partners when students are on site. So these are our areas of study. You can see a variety of areas, some that are, well, all of them linked to our local territory, but for example, natural sciences, we'll see some of the courses that are particular specifically to the Sorrento Peninsula. So in the humanities, we run these courses, and I put in bold in the bottom here, the arts and communication internships. So if you want to do an internship in one of these areas, it'll actually count as an art course or a comm course. So hopefully that will help with the transfer process. One of our most popular humanities courses is the archaeology class. This is actually a photo of Ilaria, our archaeology professor. And some more another photo of an archaeology field trip and some of the classical studies courses that we offer. You can find all of these also on the website. The Italian studies courses, as well as internship, business studies, and marketing and management internship possibilities. Some social sciences classes. Definitely our most popular class is the history of the mafia for the social sciences. And we also offer internships in social science areas. We have a photo of students on a field trip to an NGO that works with refugees and asylum seekers in Naples, Italy on the top, and then a photo from The Godfather, a mafia, a movie about the Italian mafia. Culture studies courses. One of the newer ones is the history of Italian food and culture. Some photos of students around in field trips. Health sciences, so some of the courses, and we also offer internships in health sciences. Science and natural sciences. So our definitely most popular one here is the intro to marine biology. So a lot of the students will take that course, which is very connected to the point of our peninsula is called Punta Campanella. There is a protected marine area of Punta Campanella. So that class is very immersive and very connected with that organization. And they do a lot of on-site field trips in the protected area. So this is one of the field trips to the Turtle Rescue Center. This is field trip to Vesuvius. We also have a volcanology class. Some of the academic services, we have an academic director who's an on-site advisor. We do an orientation tour of Sorrento when students arrive on the first day of class. We have Wi-Fi, computer and printer access, assistance with visas and permits of stay. We offer that assistance as well, and also accommodation and language assistance. And of course, 24/7 emergency assistance. Other services, the discount card for local shops, excursions and field trips. We really try to connect all of our classes to our local territories. So we have as many field trips as possible where you can actually live the material that you're studying in class, especially Pompeii, Naples, Mount Vesuvius, Capri, Amalfi and Positano are some of the most popular field trips, but we also include them as excursions for the students. We have guest lectures, topics coordinated depending on the academic goals of the different terms. We also offer culture shock and reentry materials and healthcare referral and assistance, as I mentioned earlier. So the community engagement department, which is really what I coordinate the internships and service learning. Internships offer students not just the chance to study in Sorrento and you're living there, but you see a whole nother dimension of the Italian culture by working with local Italians or in a local Italian organization or business. So we have these different internship fields that students can intern in. A lot of them I mentioned earlier in the class slides. So we have hospitality and tourism is a large sector. It's the biggest industry in Sorrento. So a lot of our even business students like management, marketing will have internships in the hospitality and tourism sector. So I'll name some of the types of organizations we work with. For example, art galleries, event planners, fitness centers, different types of hotels, and charter boat companies. For hospitality management and tourism, same types of organizations, also restaurants and travel agencies. We also do education internships, so with local public and private schools and language institutes, summer camps for summer students. We work with summer youth camps, also different organizations for the diversely abled in Sorrento, and as I mentioned before, the NGO for refugees and asylum seekers in Naples. Communications, we work with local magazines, including online publications, event planners, Arts Foundation, boat charter companies, and also the hotels, B&Bs, and art galleries, which were in some of the other fields. In marine science and environmental studies, we have 3 positions every term with the Marine Protected Area of Punta Campanella, which I mentioned in the Marine Bio course. Also in health sciences, you can intern with a vet studio, pharmacy, and some other options as well. And if you have any questions about any of those areas, please feel free to get in touch with me. The process for the internship, there are a couple extra application materials, and I also video interview the students before I choose their placement, and I send students their placement and their internship program before their arrival, so you know where you're working and kind of what projects to expect. During the internship, we have orientation, introduction to your employer, your first meeting with your employer, introduction to the workplace. We have weekly meetings about professional topics, and we also, at the end, create an e-portfolio and present the e-portfolio at the final meeting. The weekly meetings we call the LEAD program, so leadership, engagement, and professional development. So each week we have a different topic that we talk about for professional development and students related to their internship, and also are able to talk together as a group in their different fields about different successes and challenges in these areas. Oops, sorry. Oh, the biology internship. Yes, the biology internship, it depends on which field you would like to, which field within biology. Maybe at the end of the recording, I can talk one-on-one with you and give you some more information about those placements. Okay, so service learning opportunities are available as well. So with some of the organizations that we do internships for, so the internships are for credit, academic credit. Service learning opportunities are more like volunteer and community service, which many students are still interested in, to be able to get involved with the community, give back to their host community. And the organizations, as I mentioned, are similar to, some of them are also the same for the internships, like the association Enables that works with refugees and asylum seekers. We also work with retirement homes, diversely able centers, student and youth centers, environmental organizations, abuse shelters. So for student life in Sorrento, we have a variety of student clubs. I think the cooking club definitely is the most popular, but we also have students who participate in the book club, Discover the Sorrento Peninsula, the Sorrento Journal Club, movie nights, arts and crafts, and the gardening club. These clubs are run by Georgia, who I mentioned in the Meet the Staff slide. So she, as a Sorrento native, or she's actually a native of one of the nearby villages, Piano di Sorrento. So she is able to share her experience and her knowledge of Sorrento and the peninsula with the students. And I think they really enjoy being able to learn about local traditions and just getting involved in the local community through these clubs. So we have some of the arts and crafts clubs, Dance It Off class, the cooking Cucina Italiana class. Also a good way to kind of meet your peers and do activities together. So we have another arts and craft class, and then one of the Discover Sorrento Peninsula classes that they did, or activities. Arts and crafts, cooking. Some of the cultural activities that we organize, visits to the mozzarella cheese factory, pasta factory, and gelato making. So you can see a lot centered on cuisine. Mediterranean cooking class, olive oil factory visit and tasting, limoncello factory visit and tasting, and snorkeling. So again, a lot based on the local cuisine, but also based on the local environment. We have some field trip visits and cultural excursions here. This is the gym I was talking about. So we do some classes with the student clubs, but also students are welcome to go and exercise on their own. This is the rooftop terrace, one of them. You can see Vesuvius in the back, overlooking the bay. Exploring beyond the classroom, this is a view from the Path of the Gods, which is a very famous hike on the Amalfi Coast. You can see Positano down in the bottom. So students on the weekends or maybe even on Fridays when they don't have class will go on their own excursions, and we try to help with information and any information about doing these excursions, and of course being safe, especially when you're hiking. Another excursion is the Punta Campanella hike and Yeranto Bay, one of the most protected areas of the Marine Protected Park. We have students in Positano on the left and in Ravello on the right. Very easy to access via bus from Sorrento. Some field trips, visits to Pompeii with Ilaria Tartaglia, our professor of archaeology. The island of Capri is one of the excursions that we offer usually in the summer for all students, because in the summer we have one of the excursions included in the program, and during the semester, 3 excursions. So visit Capri with the group in your term. And then Naples as well is involved in some of the field trips, but also many students like to visit Naples on their own and explore. There's a lot to discover. So Sorrento lifestyle, and really Italian lifestyle, living in Sorrento doing the study abroad program, you have the opportunity to live like the Italians and learn about how their traditions are. As I've mentioned several times, food and the culinary arts and cuisine is very big in Italian culture. So dining is really important. You'll certainly learn kind of the order of dining in Italy, especially if you live with a homestay or if you go out to eat. We have these different areas: the antipasto, which is the appetizer, the primo, the secondo, contorno, which is the contorno is the side, the primo is the first plate, which is a little bit lighter, secondo is the second plate, which is usually a little bit heavier: meat, fish, poultry, sometimes vegetarian options, and then the dolce. A lot of Italian culture is centered around food, so meals last a long time. And I think it's one of the aspects of Italian culture that students really love to experience and really take back with them once they're done with their term abroad. Drinking in Italy, so coffee is another big cultural part in Italy and also southern Italy. We have a cafe, which is just a single shot of espresso, and cappuccino, which has the foamed milk. Never in the only in the mornings we drink cappuccino. It's kind of a taboo to drink cappuccino or any coffee with milk after lunch. Aperitivo is another typical Italian drink time. It's usually before dinner times, around 6 to 8 p.m. And it's either alcoholic, or many aperitivos are non-alcoholic, like different kinds of sodas. Wine and beer are also enjoyed with meals at dinner. Wine is definitely more common in Italy than beer, but you can find both here. And also just the drinking culture in general is something that I think students learn a lot from, because it's different than the American drinking culture. So here it's more moderate and we drink with meals. And so it's interesting also to learn that when you're studying abroad. And then the digestivo is the digestive. So it's like a liquor like limoncello, that people drink after a big meal in order to help them digest. And it's sipped slowly, not a shot. So Sorrento Health and Safety, we have updated our epidemic prevention protocol, which you can also get in touch with me if you would like the full version. It's also on our website, on our health and safety page. Just some different measures, which here there are listed some of the topics of the protocol, just different measures that are going to be taken when students are on site. Of course, hopefully next year there will be fewer measures that have to be taken, but we are definitely prepared and have a lot of different contingency plans and a lot of different plans in place depending on how this semester goes or how the summer goes. So we have everything detailed in our epidemic prevention protocol, which you can visit on our site. So why Sorrento? Just to recap, the Southern Italian coastal atmosphere and the Southern Italian traditions. Southern Italy is also known for being, even Italy in general, for being very friendly, gracious culture, and also very friendly, warm people. Unique, scenic, and famous location of not just the Amalfi Coast, but really the whole Sorrento Peninsula, all the way to Naples and Salerno. Close to Naples and easy access to all of Europe. It's safe and walkable and very easy to navigate the seaside community. We have, of course, the Mediterranean climate, which is very enjoyable, and the healthy culinary traditions based on fresh seafood, fruit, vegetables, and oils. And Sorrento is also an international tourist destination. So it's really in the history and the tradition of Sorrento to receive people from all over the world. So not just from the US, but you'll also be in the Sorrento community, possibly meeting people from all over the world. So studying abroad at Sant'Anna, we inspire those who desire to learn and aspire to greatness. We have rigorous academics, we have internationally recognized and talented faculty, and a very engaging staff where we try to be as available as possible, for any questions. We're always happy to do one-on-one video chats if you have any questions about the program. We have a very inclusive and supportive environment. Personal self-awareness, confidence, and professional growth are some of the missions that we have to help our students with. Expanding also your global view, an active student life with our student life clubs and program, and also enhance your value of your degree and increase employability through study abroad and also the internship opportunities. And of course, the opportunity to discover new places. So we have different accounts on social media if you'd like to follow us and learn more about student life in Sorrento and our programs.